Our final inductee of the evening is Floyd E. Sonny Jim Orr.
Floyd E. Sonny Jim Orr grew up with a rope in his hand, lassoing anything that moved. At the age of 21, he began a rodeo career in tie-down roping. In 1958, his life changed course. That's when his parents bought him an off-the-track racehorse named Tender Boy, a 1955 sorrel stallion with the makings of a good tie-down horse in him. Sonny Jim began training the stallion. This horse turned out to be a good one. I mean a really good one, Sonny Jim said. Every now and then I'd bump into somebody that I thought was a good horseman, and they said, "You ought to show that horse and make a champion out of him." So in 1960, he turned in his inactive card to the Rodeo Cowboys Association, hooked his two-horse ragtop trailer to his Oldsmobile, and hit the show circuit. Tender Boy quickly became an AQHA champion, earning points in halter, reining, roping, and working cow horse. At the end of 1961, Sonny Jim earned an all-around saddle from the Rocky Mountain Quarter Horse Association, the first saddle he had ever won. Tender Boy was also AQHA year-end high point winner in working cow horse and tie-down roping for 1961. From 1960 through 1986, when an injury forced his retirement from the saddle, he trained horses that could win halter in the morning and perform all day long. "I learned the other classes the hard way by watching people I had some respect for," he said. "I didn't know how to stand a horse for halter, but I watched people and learned a little bit." After he had learned halter, reining, and working cow horse, he was challenged to try Western pleasure. Sonny Jim took Dara Lark to the Arizona Sun Country Circuit in 1973, where she was the top pleasure horse. "Nobody thought I could do it," he said with a laugh, "but I was bull-headed enough that I thought I could, so I took her and I beat them on her." By the late 70s, Sonny Jim was known as a trainer who did everything and trained versatile horses. "I thought that was the only way they were supposed to be ridden," he said. "I thought if you led one in for someone to look at, then when they finished looking, you were supposed to put your saddle on him. There wasn't no other way. I still feel like that today." He made numerous champions and rode many outstanding horses, including Baby Belinda, Paula Pine, Mighty Lady, Joe Hancock II, Moki Signal, Tender Tonka, Tender Tobin, Tender Choctaw, Miss Red Rack, and Watch Joe Sandy, just to name a few. In 1979, Sonny Jim rode Diamond Sparkle to the Superhorse title at the AQHA World Show, riding the Hall of Fame bound mare in all her classes himself. 1 year later, he almost did it again, earning the Reserve Superhorse title with another mare, 18 letters. Sonny Jim also showed Tender Boy's offspring such as Tender's 2, Tender Sue, and Tender Taus to AQHA champion titles. In all, Orr-bred horses earned nearly 1,500 points in all divisions and earned 57,000 in the National Cutting Horse Association. After retirement from the show ring, Sonny Jim focused on training amateurs to succeed. He was an AQHA judge for 16 years, judging the first AQHA World Championship show in Louisville, Kentucky in 1974. "I like judging with people I thought a lot of, like Jack Kyle and Clyde Kennedy, and I thought it was a big honor for AQHA to think enough of me to have me judge the very first one," Sonny Jim said. In 2009, years after winning that first saddle from the Rocky Mountain Quarter Horse Association, he was inducted into its Hall of Fame as the recipient of many more trophies, saddles, and titles. "I'd like to be remembered as a man who was not only a trainer, but a horseman," he said. And now, this trainer and horseman will be forever remembered in the American Quarter Horse Hall of Fame.
Help me welcome Sonny Jim Orr into the American Quarter Horse Hall of Fame.
they said, it's all yours. I don't know about the rest of these folks that's been standing up here, but if this don't make you a little bit tight, your heart's not beating. And I'll tell you what, mine is darn sure beating, by golly. I guess a lot about what I was going to say, you done saw it here on this deal. They told a pretty good story about me. But last March, I'd been downtown and come home, and Rand said there's a message from Don Treadway, AQHA, wants you to call him. And I thought, what in the world does Don Treadway want with me for? I used to help him put on judges' seminars and made a couple movies for him and stuff like that. And I said, boy, they sure don't want me back now, I'll guarantee you that. So anyway, I called him and we talked a little bit. And he said, Sonny Jim, he says, next March I want to see you in Las Vegas at the South Point. You're going to the Hall of Fame. And I just kind of melted, you know. Didn't say nothing to him for a while, and finally I got in my air and decided I wasn't going to stutter, which I have been known to do a lot of stutter. And so we talked a little bit, and so we hung up and I went on. But never did I ever believe that I would be standing here in front of all you people like that. Quite an honor. Didn't realize how big an honor it was until I walked in that door back there tonight. Wasn't nobody here, and we was the first ones in here, and I saw all them tables, and I went to counting all them tables, and I got way back there at the back and saw there was 60-some tables, and I says, my, oh my, oh my. What have I got myself into here? I said, surely you're not going to get through this without hanging up. And that's what most all of you that knows me come here to watch, to see how much I stutter. I'm worse than old Mel is. And, but I can sing too, but not that good. But first of all, before I go too far, I would really like to thank the Hall of Fame for thinking enough of me to put me up here tonight. Such a big honor, I can't get over it. Can't tell you what it means to me to be in the Hall of Fame of AQHA. So we'll go on with that a little bit. There's a little woman sitting over there at my table that put my name in this deal. Margot Ball, thank you, honey. You mean a lot to me. I've known this woman ever since she was about that tall. She really means a lot to me. There's one more lady sitting over there at that table that if it hadn't have been for her, you probably wouldn't have saw all this information on this screen here. I don't know how much she's talked to Crystal on the phone, talked to AQHA, researched all this stuff. Me, ain't no way I could do that. But anyway, I'm married to her. And I'm pretty happy to be married to her. Rayanne, stand up, please, would you, honey? She's the one that got me here and will get me home, I hope. Because you can darn sure bet one thing, I can't get here no more. I've been home too much. And there's some other people over there around my table that means a whole lot to me. I want to thank them for coming. 4 of them, I didn't dream there's no way they'd be here. One of them's a big contractor in Pueblo. The other one's a big architect man. They know nothing about horses. Don't know really which end to even feed a horse out of. Rayanne works for one of them, and that's her brother. And she has for 44 years. So anyway, she comes home one night and she says, Keith wants to go to the AQHA convention. And I says, what? Well, anyway, they're here. Keith, Sharon, Jack, and Chris. Means a lot to me, folks. Thank you for being here. And the rest of them around there, I'm not going to mention a whole bunch of names, but you know who you are, so thank you all for coming. It means a whole bunch to me. Like this thing said, in 1958, my folks went to Fort Smith, Arkansas. Daddy called me one night and said he found this stud he's going to buy, and thought about it and talked to me, and he come home, and I said, what'd you do about the stud horse? He said, I bought him. He said he'll be here in a couple, 3 days. Well, anyway, make a long story short, he got there, and all I ever wanted to do all my life was rope. I just wanted to rope. And them little pictures right there, you saw me standing by my sister. Had a little black pony I rode down on that ranch where we was at. And I roped all the chickens and ducks and geese and pigs and everything else that walked around there. Had her tied on hard and fast, you know. At that time there wasn't no such thing as dally. I had her tied on hard and fast. And boy, by me come my sister on her bicycle. Boy, I throat latched her and jerked her off of that bicycle. I'm telling you what, I just splattered her against the ground. But I made one mistake. Daddy saw me. Oh my God, did I ever get a whipping. He whipped on me until Mother finally come out of the house and made him stop. But like I said, this horse come into my life, and I went to roping on him, and he really made a great horse. And I went to hauling him, and people like these guys in here with the big horse show people that say, you ought to show that horse, make a champion out of it. Why? Horse show people didn't mean nothing to me. I said, there ain't nobody gonna tell me how good my horse is. Well, I finally broke down, and there I went. No matter what I'd done to this big sorrow booger, he won. I didn't know too much about reining horse or nothing like that, you know, but he just win. And I made a champion out of him and everything like this, and then I showed his babies. And, but we showed way back then, and had a great time. And then I went to showing for all people like y'all and stuff like that. And between my folks, which were the greatest folks in the world, you couldn't have picked a better pair. And some of the greatest customers, I had some great customers, but I had a couple or three that wasn't that good. And there's one woman sitting over there that knows some of them I'm talking about. I got a lot of people in here that know stories about me. But really had some great customers, and they never told me when to leave were when to come home. All they wanted was points. Lucky, I was lucky enough to get the points for them. And at this time, I would like to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, because a lot of you and then my customers are the reason I'm here tonight. I feel like I'm so lucky to have made a living riding horses, training horses. Because that, I guess you could say that's all I knew how to do. But I feel like I'm so lucky to have made a living like that. And I didn't know how much fun I was having till it was all over with. And I think back now about the things that I'd done and the fun I had. And boy, I'll tell you about me. Take it from me, I had a lot of fun. But it was a lot of work, a lot of work. And at this time, I would like to thank AQHA for giving me the opportunity to do that. Because if I hadn't have been hunting them points, I wouldn't be here tonight. Because you don't hear too much about has-been calf ropers. You might hear quite a little bit about one or something like that, but you don't hear too much about that, a lot of them. But a lot of people heard about me. I have, since I've got here, I have talked to quite a few people that I hadn't saw for a long, long time. Frank Merrill is one, told me a bunch of stories about when he was showing Miss Jim 45 and I judged her, and how he enjoyed showing horses to me, and some other people who tell me the same story. Boy, I didn't know how many people did like me. But I was sure having a whole lot of fun, by golly. And being here for this deal and getting to talk to a few of them people sure brought back a lot of memories and a lot of good memories. A lot of good memories. I've trained horses in halter, cutting, calf roping, reining, western pleasure, western riding, working cow horse, team roping, snaffle bit cow horse. And in '79, I won the Superhorse all by myself. I didn't have no help, just me, which I think it's the way it's supposed to be. Maybe I've cut my throat by saying that, but that's the way I feel about it. But, you know, after all that winning all arounds, making champions, winning saddles, I guess you'd say that being here tonight and receiving this Hall of Fame award, I guess there's only one thing you can say. That puts the icing on the cake. Thank you very much.